Have online versions on our website because we're going to go through here and we're going to actually be writing in it and using it and referring back to it throughout this time. One of the first things we need to do is kind of a self-assessment. And if you want to take a look at page 8 and 9 in this book, we ask some basic questions. And this is to help you have an understanding of yourself, an understanding of where you're at, how you got there, why you're there, and what can and should be done differently. So I want you to take a look at those questions, and I want you to answer them honestly, because that's the key for this book. This book is just for you. And too many times I see people say one thing, but do something different. Really, when we're working our way through this, every single answer needs to be honest answers, just for you, so you can start getting your plan together. So, if you're watching this, I want you to pause the video here in a minute, and I want you to answer these questions, and then we're going to come, as soon as you're done, go ahead and start it back up again, and we'll talk about what it all means. Well, I hope everyone really gave some honest answers to these questions. And a lot of people say, well, why do you ask some of these? And because they're really important. Why did you complete this book? Why are you going through this workshop right now? And understanding the reasons why is going to help you make some decisions, and some decisions later today might be kind of difficult. And if you really understand why you're doing this, because you're here for a reason. You're not doing this workbook, taking this class right now for no reason. You have goals in mind. One of the other questions we ask are, what are some of the obstacles that you're facing? Because when we're trying to meet our financial goals, we often have obstacles. And what are they? A lot of people don't realize them, and I'm going to encourage you to think about them and go back to them later and start adding on and rethinking about these. One of the obstacles that many people face is actually their friends. And some say, well, how can my friends be an obstacle to my financial success? Well, one of the reasons is we try to keep up with them. We may want to go out where they go. We may want to spend money where they spend. I've talked to countless families, individuals, young people who say they're spending $300, $400, $500, $600 a month going out with their friends. And they don't even want to. They're saying, you know what, I don't want to. I'd rather put it towards savings. I'd rather pay off some of my bills. I'd rather do this. I'd rather do that. But I can't because I go out with my friends. I don't want to tell them no. They're going to be mad at me. So that's an obstacle to meeting their financial goals. So really understanding what some of these questions are, why did you, what steps can you take to make some changes right off the bat are really important keys. Another reason to ask these questions is I always say, what lessons are we teaching our kids? I've had people come to me. I remember one family I met with, and I was talking to them, and I said, you know, you're spending $100 a month on satellite television. And they said, well, but you don't understand. We have kids. And I said to him, I said, well, what kind of lesson are you sending your kids? We've got bill collectors calling us. We can't pay our bills, but we've got Nick Jr. And there are ways around it. These are decisions that we're making. So understanding yourself and where you're at really, really are an important key. Now, the next thing I'm going to ask you to do is probably the most important part of this entire workshop. And that is taking some time right now and thinking about, where do you want to be financially 12 months from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Because understanding what your goals are, understanding specifically where you want to be financially is really the cornerstone of meeting those goals, knowing what your goals are. Now, the ones you come up with right now may change. I want you to think about it, not just today, not just tonight, but for the next week, for the next month, and go back and adjust them and change them. Where do I want to be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? So I'm going to ask everyone to go to page 12, setting goals, and write in here, what are your goals, as I said, the next 1, 3, and 5 years. Give it a little bit of thought. You're watching this, pause the video, come back after you get those goals written down.